Hi everybody, my name's Chris Shaw. I'm a director of AJR Motorsport, and what I'm doing is I'm doing the publicity, the media relations, the PR and the marketing element of AJR Motorsport, and I'm very much looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun journey.
Wow, that was fantastic, Chris. How do I follow that? There you go.
You have to do though.
Oh, I know, that's the thing, isn't it? Hi everybody, my name's Keith Loveday. I'm a director of AJR Motorsport. We're really looking forward to it, really excited, and what I'm doing is hoping to connect and gain sponsorship, corporate sponsorship from quite a number of people, so we can actually fund our first year of the motorsport. And I also have a graphic design background, so I'll be making us look absolutely fantastic.
Fantastic, Keith, and most of you will already know me if you've seen the previous videos. I'm Alexander Rhodes. I'm the lead racing driver at the moment, and I'll be doing the promotion side of things as well. So obviously I'll be out there on track promoting your product, promoting your brand, and then I'll be doing it at your exhibitions and events as well. So guys,
fantastic.
Wow.
Well, the first thing that I was going to ask, just in general terms, because we can have a little bit of a chat between ourselves, we've got enough video footage available, haven't we? So Alex, tell me about your fitness regime as a racing driver. I'm terribly envious.
Oh dear, my fitness regime. Well, it doesn't involve running, I'll tell you that now. Mostly cycling, about 20 to 30 miles a day. Around about 700 feet elevation difference from down to up, I'll climb. So yeah, it's pretty tough. But yeah, mostly upper body strength is based around endurance. I'm not lifting to build muscle, I'm lifting to...
So it's like core body strength.
Exactly, so we've got the sit-ups, we've got the push-ups, the pull-ups, and also some 15-kilogram dumbbells as well, which I'll do multiple repetitions.
Fantastic, guys. I like the idea of doing the cycling, of course, because I mean, you know, I'm a cycling nut anyway. So, is it a road bike or a mountain bike, an MTB that you use? Or?
It's a full suspension bike. It's extremely heavy, 20 kilograms.
Wow.
That gives me the added challenge.
You're gonna sweat with that, aren't you, mate?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to keep well hydrated. But yeah, it's a mountain bike. I take it down over boulders, around the woods. Yeah, anywhere I can go with that, the bigger the hill, the better.
That's the way to do it.
Fantastic.
And as a racing driver, then, do you find that having sort of core fitness, basic fitness, is a big advantage?
Well, the biggest issue with the karting that we're doing this year is the strength you need is all around the bicep and the tricep, and it's all shoulder strength. And then as you develop it over a couple of hours, if you're in the kart during endurance races like the 24-hour races, your lower arms become destroyed and then your fingers start to fall to pieces. So you need that strength all along the arms and all down the ribs as well.
Yeah.
Because you're getting beaten from side to side over the curbs, and if you've got weaker ribs, you're gonna get broken ribs and cracked ribs and bruised ribs, and it's not very pleasant. So keeping that strength there is extremely important.
And do you also find that you're sort of, having the physical strength and the physical fitness helps with your mental mindset and your mental strength as well, from a winning point of view?
More than anything. More than anything. I mean, it's not just about core strength and the ability to deal with the car and to pull it around corners, but we've also got the ability to sit there, be determined, be focused, because if you ever looked at the top of a mountain and thought, there's no way in hell I'm going to cycle that.
Sure.
Once you've done it, you understand you can get into the right frame of mind you need to be to pull the performance out of the bag and go do what you've got to do.
Fantastic. And I think, Alex, we've talked about fitness and everything like that, but let's talk about the kart itself now, and what it's built on, what it's based on, and what we're looking for 2014.
Well, the kart itself, it's a single chassis, it's 2D. It doesn't have a differential or anything like that. The way that it corners, it lifts one wheel up like you see in the Clios, if you've ever watched that.
Oh yes, yes.
So we lift one wheel up when we go around, so we're on 3 wheels basically.
Yes.
The tyres are very small, about this size on the back, a little bit smaller on the front. Slick completely for dry weathers, got grooves in the wet. So there's an immense amount of grip with 30 horsepower engines.
Fantastic.
And the karts themselves with driver weigh about 120 kilograms. So for those guys at home, it's about the same power to weight as a Lamborghini Gallardo.
Fantastic. Now I can vision that perfectly.
We can vision that.
So pretty kind of powerful, as it were, really. So what sort of maximum speed would you find on a typical straight on a circuit?
It depends on the length of the circuit with the straight and how you get to it. But generally, we gear the TKM engines to be able to cope with 90 on the longest straight sections of track. But on the tighter, twistier ones, you want to be maxing out around about 80 mile an hour.
Yeah. And what sort of gearbox do they have in it?
Single drive. the way that it works is the engine will rev up to about 17,000 revs per minute, and by that time you're at max speed anyway.
Yes.
So we don't have gears at the moment. That would be in your large
So
engine
technically,
power.
is it like a centrifugal clutch?
It is, yeah. We
Yes.
can get centrifugal clutches. We can get direct drive, which have no clutch.
Oh, right, yes.
They are faster, but if you stop, you then have to push it to go.
Of course.
again.
That's fantastic fun, yes.
What about the braking system then, Alex? How does that work? What does that use?
It's a single brake on the rear axle.
Yep, so single disc.
Single disc. The fastest way to stop is obviously to get them as close to lock as possible without actually locking them.
Right, I see.
And
The
the less
principle
time.
of ABS.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. The less time you spend on the brakes, the faster you're going to lap. This is where all the time
Yes.
is. It's where the overtaking comes in. The braking is the most important part of your lap. So getting that right, getting that focused, is absolutely imperative, and that's what I'm so good at, because I spend most of my time when I'm practicing making sure I'm good enough on the brakes.
Yes.
Right, I see, yes.
And how long is a typical race?
It depends on what series you enter. Some of the heats, whereas Super 1, which we're going to be racing next year,
Yes.
the heats will be around 10 laps, depending on track, and then you'll go into the semis and the quarterfinals while we sort out the grids for the final. They'll be around 15 to 20 laps on some circuits, and then the final will be a feature race, so around about 25, maybe 30 laps. And we're talking about half an hour, maybe 20 minutes at minimum on track at that sort of time.
Yes, yeah. So how long is a typical single lap on a circuit then?
Again,
What
it's down to each individual track. I mean, the longest track we'll be visiting will be about 1,300 meters. So we're talking about a 50-second lap.
It's not very
Yes.
fast then, yeah. It's
Yeah. So
And how many participants on the grid then?
the TKM this year is currently seeing around about 25 karts on the grid. Rotax at the moment they're seeing much higher numbers, sort of split into maximum figures of about 30, and then they'll go into a second grid of about another 30. As for next year, there's some new engines on the scene. The economy is still in difficulty, so we're expecting a lot more people to move over into TKM again, as it is the cheaper of the options and it's the most reliable.
Yes.
And we're expecting some pretty large grids for Super 1 next year.
Yes.